All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, Kahallah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all our Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, real quick, the topic of this video is the Sabbath. And, being that this actual Sabbath tonight, one of my story, I read, and one of the stories I like to read a lot, in a story that kind of puts a lot of things in perspective is the book of Nehemiah, the 13th chapter. And, basically it talks about one of the times when Israel profaned the Sabbath. Okay, basically they was buying and selling. It was these heathens were coming through and selling to Israel and shit. And the man Nehemiah, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, he basically he checked them. And basically the inspiration of this is like basically why the Sabbath, how real the repercussions could be if the law wasn't slacked pertaining to the Sabbath, because as right now most of our people are not keeping the Sabbath, and they're you got our people that's out probably at the strip club, they're out there getting tattoos, they're out here doing any kind of thing that's making the Sabbath not holy. And that's our people Israel. I'm not talking about the other nation. I'm talking about our people, the house of Jacob, because that's who the Lord is always giving his message to, is the house of Jacob. Why is Jacob profaning the Sabbath? Why is Jacob doing this? Why is Israel doing that? And for what, that's one of the things that the Lord always specified, is to remember to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. You know what I'm saying? Because the Sabbath was a day that the Lord said to rest. It's a day of rest. Because obviously when the Lord created the earth, he made the Sabbath the day when he rested. And that's what we're supposed to follow. We're supposed to follow that same protocol. So that means like no, you're not supposed to do no surreal work, like working like as far as like the regular business days of commerce and so on and so forth. You actually not supposed to do none of that. You're really supposed to be in your dwelling. Now, obviously, in Babylon, in this captivity, we're not able to keep the Sabbath because, most brothers are gonna have to work tomorrow. Most brothers are around, a lot of things to where the Sabbath is not being kept holy. But to the best of your ability, a man of Yahweh Shem Shai is trying his best to keep the Sabbath holy, which is basically just, to chill out and relax. Okay, but we can't really do that 100% in Babylon, but that's the whole point of being in captivity, because we were discontinued from our heritage, but the hopeful elect, hope to be part of the elect. I know it's the Sabbath, and what we doing is supposed to be chilling. You're not supposed to be doing anything like that's I think you say so-called pleasurable, as far as like physical labor, and not just work, physical labor, as far as like just anything, like just anything to where like it's a normal day, like it's not a normal business day. Okay, business is supposed to be shut down actually. And in the book of Nehemiah is gonna go into, and without further ado, I'm just gonna get into the scriptures. Now this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13. Now this whole chapter is very, very good. But as far as I'm gonna go straight to the point. And I think that will be at verse 15. Okay, so there's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 15. And it reads, "In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath." See, treading wine presses, making wine or whatever, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses, as also wine grapes and figs and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victual, because basically buying and selling is supposed to be cut off for the Sabbath. Okay, it's supposed, like I said, it's supposed to be a thing of normal day of commerce and whatnot. It's supposed to be on pause just until the Sabbath is over. Okay. Where it's so victual. Verse 16, it says, "There dwelt men of Tyre, also during which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Jerusalem, and then unto the children of Judah, and then Jerusalem." So you had these heathens coming through selling to the house of Judah and Jerusalem, which is the nation of Israel. And it says, verse 17, "Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, What evil thing is that ye do and profane the Sabbath day?" So he went to the nobles, the higher ups, the hierarchies of Israel and said, like, what are you doing profaning the Sabbath, basically? Okay? And it says, verse 18, did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city, yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath? So Nehemiah is telling them, like, look, you got all this stuff happening to us. We going through all of this. The Lord put all his wrath on us for all these reasons of disobedience. And then on top, and right now you're going to profane the Sabbath of all things? The Sabbath, to where it's like it's completely out of line and a violation of the Heavenly Father's law, statutes, and commandments, man. Okay? And he's calling them out. And it says, verse 19, it says, and it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. So he basically saying that if we're going to do this right, shut the doors, shut the gates, because these heathens, not let these heathens in here. And it says, the gates should be shut and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So basically he said watchers upon the gates to keep, basically to secure things. And it says, verse 20, so the merchants and sellers of all kind, all these heathens of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. So once or twice was for the Sabbath. During the regular, week, so to speak. And it says, verse 21, it says, then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so, hold on. He's asking these people because they're sitting outside of Jerusalem because, just like even today, who's the number one consumer? Israel, man, Jake. These heathens profit so much off Jake, it's not even funny, man. And this is a clear example of back then. Nobody's profiting off these so-called rats. And they weren't profiting on those rats back then. They profited on who? Jacob, man. Because Jacob is the number one consumer. Jacob is the one that's always, into things and always buying shit. But and so then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they came no more on the Sabbath. So he basically told them, like, look, man, why are you out here, man? Hey, it says, if you do so again, I will lay hands on you. So it basically said, if I catch you here again, I'm going to fuck you up. For lack of better words. Excuse my French. Because that's basically what Nehemiah told these people. Okay? He said, get from around here. And it said, and it came no more on the Sabbath. And it said, and I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. So he called the priests to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, oh my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. And that's what we're hoping for now as we do the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's what? To receive mercy, man. To remember the acts that we did, and Lord willing, that's why we always hope the Lord deems them as good service, man. Because we're all susceptible to go off, and we're all worthy of destruction, just like 2/3. That's why we always pray. We say to be prisoners of hope, the hopeful elect. We hope to be part of the elect. And it says, and in those days. Okay, that goes into something else, but that was really, I wanted to touch on the Sabbath because, at the end of the day, that's what this is about, man. Because, the Sabbath was one of the most important things in Israel's repertoire, man. That's one of the most important things that the Lord had for us to do is to keep the Sabbath holy, because at the end of the day, we have all these days where we do all the commerce and all the buying and selling, so on and so forth, or whatever the hell we gonna do. It's supposed to be a day you're supposed to chill, man. And we won't even have, and that's gonna be in the kingdom of heaven as well, to chill. And that's the only time, especially you devil, that's the only time these heathens gonna have to chill from feeling the wrath of Israel and feeling the presence of Israel, man. All right, and remember, it's gonna go by real quick for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's going to be an everlasting thing. So the Sabbath was part of the everlasting covenant that the Lord made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was the Sabbath, and it's going to roll over right into the kingdom. And we're actually going to keep the Sabbath more holy than now, because as of right now, we can't keep the Sabbath holy at all, because I got to work tomorrow. You got other brothers that got to work tomorrow. The apostles, some of the apostles probably got to work tomorrow. You got a lot of brothers that are going to have to work tomorrow, buy and sell, whatever, what have you. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way around it, because we're not under the law, because the law is slacked. Okay, the law is not in effect right now, technically. You know what I'm saying? Because we're under Esau's rule, and these devils, and it's so crazy. That's how you know these those so-called white people in Israel now are not the real chosen, because if they were, they would have everybody they would have everybody honor the Sabbath and keep it holy, but and they only keep the Sabbath right because they have the Sabbath as being every Friday and Saturday. Actually, like a 5 day in a 5 day the actual every weekend. When really the Sabbath comes in, you're supposed to go according to the moon cycle. Okay, but that's all I wanted to bring out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that is very important to the Most High that He wants Israel to do, and that right as of right now we can't do. But the point is to rehearse the righteous acts. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to rehearse the righteous acts to, remember the Sabbath, keep it holy, at least in your spirit and in your mind, to understand, like, to even in these vessels right now, to refrain yourself from certain things. Okay, because the Lord looks at those things, man. The Lord looks at things when you don't acknowledge them, and that's why the evil is upon us right now. Because what, as a whole, our nation is not acknowledging the Lord's law, statutes, commandments that He gave to us that we were supposed to keep from generation to generation. But the elect are trying. You know what I'm saying? And Lord willing, we hope to be part of the elect. So with that, hopefully this is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.